Greetings YouTube, Fuzzfinger here, and in today's episode of Final Fantasy XII, I'm going to show you how to get a weapon so powerful, many would consider using it an exploit. So if you want to find out how to get the SEITENGRAT, come and join me today, and please don't forget, if you enjoy watching, to hit that like button and be subscribed to the Fuzzfinger Gaming YouTube channel. Let's get started. Before we go any further, I'll just point out, for the purposes of the walkthrough that I'm doing, I won't actually be using the SEITENGRAT, since it trivialises many of the encounters, and if you're not going to be using it either, then my walkthrough wouldn't be particularly helpful in terms of tactics and strategies if I'm just going to pretty much one-shot everything we come into contact with. But I have collected the item, so you know that I'm giving you good information in telling you how to get it, on the off chance that you do want to use it and you don't mind trivialising the content. This is a walkthrough after all, it's only right I show you how to get all the good stuff. Right, so I'm not going to expect you to put up with a 1 in 10,000 chance of getting the item, and it's 1 in 10,000 because the chest it comes from only has a 1 in 100 chance of spawning, and then the item itself only has a 1 in 100 chance of spawning inside the chest. Should that spawn, multiply those two numbers together, you get 1 in 10,000. I'm going to show you a few techniques and a few tips, if you like, so that we can really get on the good side of the RNG and get this weapon relatively quickly. So first thing you are going to need is to make sure that Vaan, and Vaan alone, is an active party member. Now this might work with other active party members, but I've seen conflicting advice over the internet. So personally I had Vaan and Vaan alone, and this is how I managed to get the weapon quite quickly. And the one piece of equipment he's going to need is the diamond armlet. If you don't have the diamond armlet, this isn't going to work. The chest will spawn, but the bow will never be found inside. So you must have that. If you don't have the diamond armlet, it's very easy to get. Just fire up the trials mode from the menu screen, and you can grab it from one of the chests in the very first stage. So equip that on Vaan, make sure he's your only active party member. Head to the aerodome in Rabanastre. And at the desk here, by the way, you can do this very early on in the game. As soon as you've basically got access to the aerodome, you should be able to start doing this farm. So we're going to head to the flights to Nalbina here, and we'll just get through the dialogue. And then we're going to choose by Leisurecraft. It costs 200 gil, but trust me, it's going to be worth it. And then we have to go through these cutscenes. You can watch them or skip them, it doesn't really matter. You will get an extra cutscene if this is your first time travelling. It doesn't make any difference, I can assure you, whether or not you get 1 or 2 cutscenes in terms of being able to loot the item. I've actually seen debate on that over GameFAQs and Reddit and whatnot, over whether this works only the first time, or if it doesn't work the first time. It works both. So because this isn't an exact science, a lot of people are obviously debating what it is that improves your chances of getting it. So you want to come up here to the air deck, and what we're going to do is head out into the air deck and then quit the game. And the other thing you're going to need at this point is a stopwatch. So either get your phone app stopwatch loaded up, get Google to find a stopwatch for you. I'm sure you can do that quite quickly. But you're going to need a stopwatch where you can accurately see a count to at least 20 seconds. And once you're out here and your stopwatch is ready, you're going to quit the game. And yes, I do mean completely and utterly quit the game. So we're not just going to be going to the title screen, we're going to be closing the application. Okay, so I've quit out back to the main menu here, and we're going to load the game up again. And now what we want to do is just go through the menus, loading up the autosave that the game created when we quit in the previous area. So we do not want to load our main save file, otherwise you're going to have to run all the way back here and do this section again. So the game can take a few seconds to load. I am running off an SSD, although I'm only on the normal PlayStation 4, not the Pro. And once the game has gone to the load screen, it's the top file is the one that you're going to want to use. And this is going to bring you back on the place where we just quit, on the deck of the ship, and get your stopwatch ready. At the moment now that you see the picture come up on the screen, not the music, the picture, you want to hit that stopwatch and start counting the seconds. Now, there's debate about how much time to count, and 20 seconds is definitely an amount that works. I've got the chest to spawn after waiting for 20 seconds, but I'm going to recommend waiting for 30 seconds because I seem to get the chest more frequently when I do 30 seconds. So what we do is, while the stopwatch is going, we get Varn prepared to the exit here, so that the moment we hit 30 seconds, and I do mean you've got to try and be accurate with this, you've got to hit the X button on the PlayStation in order to leave. There we go, 30 seconds and we're out. Now hold the down key on the analog stick so that the moment the screen loads you can get ready to load back through to here, and then you're going to want to speed up and run to this section where I've just ran to, because that's where the chest can spawn. I probably should mention actually it's an invisible chest, so you won't see it, but you'll know when it's spawned because you'll appear as if you're stuck when you're trying to run to that wall. And if you've done exactly what I've suggested, then there's a very good chance it will spawn before the 7th zone. The zone's just what we're calling going out and then coming back into this area. Now remember, with the standard RNG, it's a 1 in 100 chance for the chest to spawn, so you could be doing this hundreds and hundreds of times. Using this method, I would say about 40% of the time the chest spawns on either the 6th or the 7th zone, but it can even spawn before that. But if it hasn't spawned by the 7th, then you're going to want to quit out of the game completely again, load the game up, and then fire up your autosave. Don't just quit to the title screen though, because that doesn't seem to reset the RNG. And that's what we need to do. So we're going in now for the 5th time. Don't try and use 4 times speed either, because you'll get yourself into a right kerfuffle in manoeuvring around. So I'm going to give this 1 or 2 more attempts, and if the chest hasn't spawned, then we're going to quit and head back to the PlayStation menu in order to load the game up again. But it's usually this or the next time. And there it is, look, you can see that we're stuck, we're not moving. So this is the chest, we can open it at any time. It's almost certainly going to contain gil or a knot of rust, but there's a very slim chance that it can contain the bow. Now, I'm not going to expect you to have to find this chest hundreds of times just to try and get the RNG to give you that 1% chance of getting the bow. No, there's a way we can actually cheat that as well. You see this boy running backwards and forwards? Well, we're going to wait until his 4th run back to his mum or whoever that is, and the moment he stops running on the 4th attempt we open the chest. But that's not all. Here's what a lot of other guides don't seem to say, but I think it does make a difference. You've got to have the camera at this exact angle, and I'm just trying to get the angle right here, but pause my video if you're doing this, so that before you open the chest you can try and exactly match what it is I'm doing here with the angle, because this is just as important, I believe, as the boy himself. And the moment he stops, loot the chest and you'll get the bow. Look at that. Okay, no gil, no knot of rust, that's the bow. And I believe the camera angle and just getting the timing right, the second the boy stops on his 4th run to his mum, hit the open button and it should be yours. Well, I hope this video has helped you folks. If it has, let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to leave a like and be subscribed to the Fuzz Finger Gaming channel. Make sure you check out my walkthrough for Final Fantasy XII if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care all. Goodbye.